Hello everyone, hope everybody's doing great today. I appreciate those of you watching this video. I really hope you enjoy it. But before we get to this documentary, I just would like to mention that I was doing some research on my viewership on my channel, and lo and behold, I discovered for some reason I have 100% of my viewers are women. Nothing against women, but I just feel like I'm missing like half of the human population when 100% of my viewers are women. I appreciate you ladies very much. Thank you. But so today I decided to do a review about football, get some of that testosterone here on my viewership on my channel. So, no, not really. That's the reason I chose that. I just found out today that 100% of my viewers were women. I was planning on doing this review of this documentary way before then. But let's just get into this because I'm sure you guys don't really care about that good stuff. So let's talk about this documentary called Bye Bye Barry. Of course, it's about the great Barry Sanders, who played for the Detroit Lions late 80s and most of the 90s. I think it was like 88 to about, 98, something like that. I believe that was his years. So this documentary really gets into why Barry Sanders retired when he retired. He was really just one good year, or his average year, away from breaking the all-time rushing record of Walter Payton, and he just hung up the cleats. Seems like it was kind of out of nowhere. I remember at the time that he retired, I was in Mexico, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, because he was still very young. Well, I guess he was kind of getting up there in age for football players, but he was still relatively young. I figured he still would have a couple more years left at least. But then he kind of hung up the cleats, and he said he had enough. There was a lot of speculations when he retired that he didn't want to break, that he honored Walter Payton so much that he didn't want to break his record, or that, he got tired of playing for the Detroit Lions because they were basically losers every year. They did have a good run. They made the playoffs a few times while he was playing with them, but, they kept on making bad personnel decisions. So he just got tired of the organization and losing, so that's why he retired. And so this documentary, Bye Bye Barry, really gets into the reasons why he retired at the end of his career. So this movie puts Barry Sanders on a pedestal. He couldn't do no wrong. Everything was great, but that wasn't really the purpose of this documentary. It wasn't to talk about his career, how great his career was, and his great abilities that were, or anything like that. It's just about why he retired and how decisions he made in his earlier career, his earlier life, played a role in his retirement and at the end. Because let's say there was, even though how great Barry Sanders was while he was playing, there was some criticisms of his game, such as, he never went out for really pass patterns or anything like that. He, I believe, multiple times, I think he might be the career runner in losing the most yards per carries. Like, he had the most carries for losses in his career. So you have those kind of things. When you watch Barry Sanders, though, it was always very exciting. I wasn't a Lions fan, but if the Lions were playing, I would watch them just so I could see what Barry Sanders was going to do on the football field. That was how great he was. My favorite team is the Dallas Cowboys. And I love Emmitt Smith, but if I wasn't a Cowboys fan, I wouldn't watch the Cowboys to see Emmitt Smith play like I did to watch Barry Sanders play, because you never knew what great play he was going to do next. Even if he only ran for 1 yard or -4 yards, it's usually made 4 or 5 people miss just to get to where he got, the yardage that he was able to gain. He was a very exciting player. But enough about that. Let's get to this documentary. I think it does an excellent job. It starts with basically, his childhood, how he was raised and his college career. But the most important part of this documentary is talking about his rookie year, where he only needed, I believe they said 10 yards to be the leading rusher for that season. And, the game that he was playing in was already pretty much decided. And so he decided not to go back out into the field just to get those 10 yards, because having that, I guess you can't really say record, but having that honor of being a leading rusher just wasn't wasn't a priority to him, wasn't important to him. And so we get to see this throughout his career, his football career, even in college. He won the Heisman Trophy. He wasn't like really excited. It was just like he wasn't like really wanting to, get it, I guess. He didn't care if he got it. If he didn't get it, it wasn't something he was going for. And this is kind of how this series kind of presents him in his attributes and his characteristic, was that getting such honors as being like the number one, breaking this record, wasn't something that he was really into. Wasn't that really drove him to be like the football player that he was. And so we kind of see this play out through his career, and kind of played a role there at the end. And like, he was so close to getting the record. Like any other player would want to have that record, but for Barry Sanders, they make it seem, and just by his own words, it wasn't that important for him to be the all-time leading rusher, to have that honored, that great achievement. Wasn't his goal in his life, or as a collegiate player, not a collegiate player, but as a professional player. Just something that he didn't really want, even though all those around him were pushing him, were wanting it for him, just because, being known as the all-time leading rushing player of all time. Man, I really screwed that up, didn't I? Being the all-time leading rusher, that comes with great accolades. You get great recognition for that. We kind of see that those kind of recognitions and stuff, for those kind of achievements, wasn't really what Barry Sanders was about. He seemed to be like kind of like a shy guy, kind of something like he just wants to do his job, help his team win, and to get those great achievements. So we see that part, wasn't enough to motivate him for one more year. And so you can't really say that played an instrument in his decision to retire. Like it wasn't enough to motivate him to go one more year of football, maybe 2 more years of football at the most, to get this great achievement. But I do feel like this documentary does answer the question of why Barry Sanders decided to retire when he did. I don't want to give away the answer to it, but I think it is definitely a documentary to watch, especially if you're a Barry Sanders fan. I think you'll love it. You get to see all the highlights of his career, why he did what he did, why he made decisions that he made, how he was brought up, his philosophy in life as a player. And so I believe that it does a great job in that. And it does answer to me that important question: why did he retire when he retired? You get that, and it was nice seeing him with his childhood, with his how he was brought with his family, with his parents and his siblings, and then later on, you get the whole interaction with him with his, I think it's 4 sons, with his sons, and him revisiting and talking to him about his career and why he made a decision. So if you're a football fan, I highly recommend this. Barry Sanders fan, yes, this is definitely a great watch. If you're somebody just interested in the human story about how this guy who achieved had these great achievements and accolades, and why he decided not to get to the very top of the mountain and get almost there, and decide that it wasn't worth it to break the all-time record. That'd be something for you to watch too. So I think this documentary is great. Hope you guys have a great day, and until next time, you'll see me then. All right, bye.